I'm an artist based out of Santa Cruz, California, and this is a short video about the making of the newest series of city portraits of Northern California. I've lived in the Bay Area for the last 12 years, and for the last 20 years since graduating from the museum school in Boston, I've created edition posters celebrating cities and regions around the country. 20 years ago, I met a San Francisco-based entrepreneur who hired me to do a series of illustrations of high-tech regions in the country, primarily Silicon Valley and Route 128. I found the project an interesting artistic challenge, and it interested me enough that I've continued to illustrate cities of interest to me to this day. That's me in 1993 working on the Wall Street poster. Over the past 20 years, I've created city portraits from Wall Street to Boston to Silicon Valley and many, many more. The Northern California series will take me through 2015 to complete. I just recently completed Palo Alto and am distributing the prints throughout the Bay Area. I'm presently working on Monterey and San Jose, which will be unveiled this February. I start each project with a series of sketches using one-point perspective, a tool developed in the Renaissance. One-point perspective is where you define a horizon line and a singular vanishing point where all lines converge. The biggest challenge is finding the vantage point that best illustrates the characteristics of the city and its surrounding areas. Once I've decided on how you enter the city visually, I build its relationship to the rest of the world. Really, each city is a story, and choosing the orientation defines that story. So in many ways, this is the hardest part of each project, because the perspective is the way in which each of the audiences views itself. And ultimately what I'm illustrating is the point of view of each community, how they see themselves. For instance, in the Palo Alto poster, the vanishing point is just above Dubai, 10,000 miles away from Palo Alto, but allowing the viewer to see 1/3 away across the globe. 20 years ago, all of my illustrations were hand-drawn. Today, the ability to combine my drawings with computer technology has opened up infinite creative possibilities. Research is one of the most time-intensive parts of each project, and tools like Google Earth have been able to provide me with a vast array of research tools I could have never imagined 10 years ago. Each project takes about 4 to 6 months to complete, and a big part of that is research. No matter how well I think I know a city after doing my research, I always find out how little I really knew. Using the technology tools available today has been an enormous advantage over the past, but there is still no better tool than going to each city and spending time. It's critical to understand a place in the sense of community, what people do and how they view their surroundings. But there's nothing more important than meeting those that live and work and contribute to those communities. Ultimately, it's those people that define a place and its culture, and the only way to capture that is to talk with them. Those people know what makes a place interesting and understand its values and its culture. They understand the landscape better than anyone else, and capturing that essence is what I'm interested in doing. If I do my job correctly, people see themselves in that illustration and see themselves in the broader community. If I do my job right, it resonates with people. It helps to get up in a plane periodically to really see the bigger picture. All of my illustrations have an aerial perspective, so to fly over each subject allows me to see all that I've learned on the ground coming together from above. Boston, one of the oldest cities in the country, has a distinctive spine, dividing new skyscrapers from the historic residential areas. A zoning practice in place for years and only really visible from the air. All of the hard work and research that goes into these projects pays off in the end with an illustration that reflects the geography, culture, and spirit of these incredible places. I knew that with Palo Alto, the main vantage point had to be about Stanford, the very reason the city exists, and that everything else would branch out from there. The vantage point for Santa Cruz had to be from the water and the boardwalk, the oldest coastal amusement park in California. The Santa Cruz print was so well received that I was commissioned twice to install a 30-foot mural of it, both inside and outside, so that more people could enjoy it. For the mural, I had to reconfigure the image to fit the new format, which gave it an even broader vantage point. 20 years after completing the Route 128 poster, I'm still asked frequently for the rights to publish its image in magazines as part of an ongoing discussion of technology companies then and now.